Hey, my friends, my name is Rick Mulready, and I'm an online business coach. I'm an ads expert, and I'm all about helping online course creators and coaches make more money in their business while working fewer hours. But most importantly, I'm a father and I'm a husband. With this podcast, you're going to learn exactly how to become what we here call the optimized CEO of your business. And that means you are optimizing your sales and marketing, your time, and your mindset, so that you can have more freedom, a bigger impact, and make more money. So grab a coffee, open up your favorite notes app. This is the Art of Online Business Podcast. What's up, my friends? Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in today. Hope all's going well, whatever you are up to right now. Today, we're going to continue our membership series here on the podcast. And we're going to do a Q&A, basically answering your membership questions. A lot of these questions have been coming up on a fairly consistent basis in my Accelerator coaching program. A lot of our members have, well, let's say about half have memberships. They either have come into Accelerator with really successful memberships, or they're adding a membership to their already successful business. And a lot of great questions have been coming up, ones that I see sort of on a consistent basis, even outside of Accelerator. So I wanted to take an episode here and answer these questions for you, because whether you are adding a membership to your business or you've already got one going, I'm going to be talking through different points here that are going to be super helpful for you. Okay. And so I want to start off the Q&A here with the question of, it's sort of the $1 million question. And I addressed it a few episodes ago, back in episode 539, when I talked about why launching is doing you and your potential customers more harm than good. That episode ruffled a few feathers, shall we say. And I like that. That's good. I'm glad that people are on both sides of the fence there. They either agree really strongly and they were like, oh, thank you for finally saying it, Rick. And then there's other people like, what are you talking about, Rick? You built your business on launches, and why are you coming out and saying this? We do launches in our business really successfully, blah, blah, blah. I address all of that in that episode. So this first question is around, is it better to be doing launches for your membership, meaning like you have a closed membership and it opens up, at various points throughout the year, as opposed to evergreen, meaning it's always open. And so the easy answer here is, if your membership is something that people can actually use year round, why not give people the opportunity to enroll in your membership or join your membership, right? Now, if your membership is cohort style, meaning you've got a group of people who are starting at the same time and then ending at the same time, I would recommend absolutely doing launches, right? Now, the launch can look any way that you want it to. You can do your traditional webinar launches, or you can do just straight up email launch. You can do whatever. And we're actually going to talk about in the next question here. But this is completely up to you. I am on the side very much so of, if your membership is something that can be beneficial to somebody in February, let's just say, and you only open it in July, well, what about all those people, outside of that launch period that really want what you have to offer? And so what I recommend that you do is evergreen. So it's always available for people. And then you can add in promotions throughout the year, right? You can do flash sales, you can do special promos to certain segments of your list or your social media, whatever it might be, right? So that is what I recommend. Unless you have a cohort style program in your membership, then I recommend doing evergreen plus doing special promos throughout the year. And if that promo looks like a launch for you, if you're like, I love launching, go for it. Okay. But it really is, what makes sense for you and your business, and also obviously for your customers. What are they looking for that aligns with how you want to run your business? And again, I go into all this really in depth in episode number 539, just from a few weeks ago, why launching is doing you and your potential customers more harm than good. Okay. So that is the first question. In the second question, it is all about, people always want to know what are some offers that we can test out to get more people into my membership, right? And so offers meaning, do I do a trial? Do I do a free offer? Whatever it might be. And so I like to look at this in two different ways. Number one, I like to look at it from what I like to call front doors. Like, what are different front doors that you can use to get people into your membership? And then the second part of it is the actual offers that you can be testing out. And I want to break down each one of those here in just a second. In that first question, I mentioned my Accelerator coaching program. Like half of them have memberships, and actually, whether they just started them or they came into Accelerator with a membership, they're all super successful. And so, if you're wondering what my Accelerator coaching program is, this is for established online course creators and online coaches, and you're more advanced in your business. Minimum, you're doing 7 to 8K at least per month in revenue from your online business. And this is all the way up if you're doing multiple millions. Okay. We've got the wide spectrum of people inside of Accelerator. We got an application at the time recording this just yesterday. Somebody's doing 7 figures and they were like, I'm just wondering if I'm too far ahead, if you will, for Accelerator. Absolutely not. We've got people doing multiple millions in there. And then obviously, I get to mentor you and coach you as well. So everybody in between, but this is more for established online course creators and coaches who are looking to take their business to the next level, right? You want to scale, but without adding more hours to your schedule, right? This is, and you're likely not really sure what next steps to be taking in your business in order to accomplish that. You're likely feeling overwhelmed, maybe towards burnout. Maybe you're burning out right now, which is very, very common. Looking to grow your team, looking to systematize your business with better systems and processes, stronger sales and marketing. That's exactly what we help you do inside of Accelerator. This is a one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and mastermind experience. Okay. So if you want to learn more and apply, it's application only. Go to rickmulready.com/accelerator. All right. So going back to those front doors, right? Again, this question is, what are some offers to test out to get more people into my membership? So the first part of it is what I like to call front doors. Front door is basically, how are we getting people how are we making that offer into your membership, right? So it all starts with your traffic source or traffic sources. Could be Facebook ads, could be Instagram ads, could be organic, meaning, whatever. TikTok, could be your YouTube channel, could be your podcast, whatever it might be, could be your blog. So it starts with your traffic source, and then you're sending people to a lead magnet, right? So a free opt-in. The really key thing here when it comes to your lead magnet, and I've covered this before in a previous episode here in the show, is you want to make sure that lead magnet checks a few boxes. What I mean by that is, number one, you absolutely want it to, hopefully be relevant to helping your target customer solve a very specific problem. And hopefully the lead magnet is a logical first step towards the membership. The lead magnet should give them a quick win, which is going to create some momentum, right? And then they're like, holy cow, this was awesome. I want more. The more is your membership in this case here, right? And so the front door could be traffic source to lead magnet. Once they opt in for your lead magnet, they implement that lead magnet, and then you do an email follow-up series where you're continuing to build value, continuing to build rapport, build that relationship and trust with that person, and you're offering your membership with a special offer in that email series. Okay. So that's the first front door. The second, that's just one example that you can do. Another example is the exact same thing. However, we move that offer for the membership up to the thank you page, right? So traffic source to lead magnet, same kind of thing on the lead magnet. And then once they opt in for the lead magnet, you make your offer, your special membership offer on the thank you page. So it's right there. Okay. And then if they don't take you up on that special offer, then they go into that follow-up email series. Okay. Another front door, very standard traffic source into a free webinar. And then on that webinar, you make your membership special offer. That webinar could be a training series, live training series, could be a challenge, could be, a mini video training series. It could be literally a single video training that's 12 minutes long, for example, that again, that is you blow their mind and then you make an offer off of that video into a special offer for your membership. One trend that I'm seeing right now, some of our accelerators are doing it with a lot of success. And I've done this in the past with success as well, is they're almost doing kind of like a micro webinar. And the webinar, what I mean by that is the webinar is down to like 25 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. And that's the total length of your webinar, right? Because people's attention span, show up rates have been down. Don't get me wrong, webinars are still very, very, very effective, but testing that shorter method or shorter length, I should say, of a webinar is something I would absolutely look at, depending on the success or lack of success that you've had with a webinar. So again, the front door there is your very straightforward, standard kind of webinar, or again, video training series or what have you, front door, if you will. Okay, so traffic source, let's just say webinar, membership special offer. There's 3 examples for different front doors. There's tons of examples that you can do there, or tons of things that you can test out there. There's 3 really solid ones that absolutely work. Okay. Now, with that said, let's add on to that. We've got our front door example, right? Now let's look at some different offers that you can test out. And that's really the key, right? We're testing this out to see what works and what doesn't. Hopefully you find things that work and you do more of it, right? I'm always talking about that. Simply do more of what's working. If it's not working super well, you look at, okay, what exactly isn't working, and you start optimizing that journey, right? That campaign. One example of an offer, this is more so if you're doing launches, it's just a straight up monthly fee. Okay. So my membership is $47, or you can do an annual option. Usually when it comes to getting people into an annual option, most people do like 2 months free. So they're getting 12 months for the price of 10. And you as the membership owner, that's really good for you, because that's one way to increase your lifetime customer value, which we'll talk more about here in a couple minutes. So that's one thing you can do. Very straightforward, standard. Join my membership. This is the rate, this is the monthly fee, or you can do an annual option. Doors close, enrollment closes on this day, what have you. Another offer that you can do, and I really like this one a lot, because most people have courses inside of their membership, right? So they have a whole course on, just as I don't know, whatever, hiring, for example. And then they have a course on whatever, Facebook ads, let's just say. Okay. So they have all these courses, but what if you sell each of these courses individually? So let's just say your membership is, just for simple sake, $47 a month. And you sell a course for $97. You sell that hiring course for $97. So you say, hey, you can buy this $97 course on hiring, or you can get that course inside of our membership along with all this other training and amazing community for just $47 a month. So you can jump in there right now and get all these things for just $47, and then obviously $47 a month thereafter. So you're basically using the course and the course price to anchor the price of the membership. So the membership is a much better deal, because they're getting that course that they want for a reduced price, if you will, a lesser price, and all this other amazing stuff. Okay. So you can use your individual courses as an anchor for the price of your membership. Now, one person, by the way, who does this really, really well, and I've had him on the podcast a couple of times, is my good buddy Jason Brown from the Brown Report. So he has individual courses on stock trading, et cetera, that you can buy straight up. That just individual, you can go buy the individual course, or you can join his membership and get all of his courses for a much reduced price. And you can get access to Jason's weekly, where he does, look over his shoulder, basically doing trades and stuff like that. So anyway, use a course price, individual course. And if you don't have an individual course, you just have other trainings inside of your membership, you can pull those out, not pull them out, but you can use those courses that are inside there, start selling them individually, and and then again, use that as an anchor price against the membership. Another offer that you can test out is just very straightforward. You can do an expiring bonus, right? So if you join now, you get this whatever amazing bonus that you've got, but that bonus goes away, whatever, Thursday, right? Very straightforward. I don't love that one, but it can be effective. Another offer example that you can test out is that you can do like a $1 trial or a $7 trial, right? So you can do a $1 trial for 14 days, or a $1 trial for 7 days, or maybe a $1 trial for 30 days. Just play around with it. The key here, frankly, with all these different offers that you can be testing out, is knowing your numbers. You've got to know your numbers. And one of the questions I've got coming up here for you, where I'll dive into it, is what metrics, what numbers do you want to make sure that you're tracking if you have a membership? And so if you do like a $1 trial, for example, it's like, okay, how many people took you up on the $1 trial? And then of those $1 trial people, how many converted into continuing on in the membership? Then I want you to take it a step further and look at, okay, how long do those people generally stay in the membership? So what is my lifetime customer value of the people who are coming in at different offer levels, like let's say a $1 trial or a $7 trial or a free trial, right? So you want to be looking at which offer is performing the best, obviously, but then also looking at even further out and looking at what is the lifetime customer value? Is there a difference? Maybe there's no difference, but tracking it is really, really important so that you can know and be able to answer those types of questions. By the way, when you're doing these kind of offers and you're doing these kind of front doors, if you will, I really, really encourage you to look at the traffic source, where you are sending people from, and when they get into the membership, right? So for example, if I'm making an offer here on the podcast, for example, I want to make sure for a membership, I don't have a membership right now, but if I'm making a special offer for a membership here on the podcast, I want to know, okay, how many people are joining from the podcast, and then how long are they staying, right? So it's a good idea for you to be tracking number one, the traffic source. Where are those people coming from who join the membership? And then how long do they stay in the membership? That way you can start tracking the effectiveness of your traffic sources into your membership. The last example here, and again, this is one of those things where there's tons of different things that you can do to, offers that you can test out. I'm giving you 5 right here that are really effective. The last one here, very much something you want to test, right? So you can do a free option. You can do a free trial. Now, keep in mind, when you do a free trial, you're going to get those freebie seekers, right? We all know those freebie seekers. Nothing wrong, right? But we want buyers coming in, because when people actually pay to get a result, they're going to take things more seriously. And we're in business to make an impact. We're in business to create a transformation for the people that we want to be helping, right? And so you can do a free trial, but again, be tracking everything. One thing I would absolutely test against is maybe you do a $7 trial or a $1 trial, track how many of those people convert into paying customers after the trial, versus I do a free trial, how many of those people go on to continue on in the membership, right? But again, all of this, you've got to be knowing your numbers. You got to be tracking your numbers and tracking the effectiveness of all these different front doors, if you will, and the offers. Okay. All right. The third question is, how might I improve my waitlist conversion into my membership, right? So if your membership is closed and you have a wait list, how do you improve the percentage of people who are on your wait list who actually join your membership when you open enrollment for the membership? So let's just say that there's 100 people on your wait list, and when you open enrollment, 10 of those people join your membership. Okay, so that's 10% conversion, right? Good. But the wait list, those people have raised their hand, right? They're like, yeah, I want to be the first to know when enrollment opens. I'm very interested in this. Let me know. Okay. So how can we nurture those people in a very special way? Because they have taken time, they've raised their hand and said, I'm very interested. Okay. So they are very, very warm potential buyers of your membership. So, what are some things that you could do to get more of those people into your membership? Well, they're on your wait list for a reason. Side note here, by the way, a little bit of a soapbox here. If somebody signs up for your wait list, okay, and they're just coming in, they've just signed up for your wait list, they didn't sign up for your like weekly newsletter. Don't send them your weekly newsletter. They didn't sign up for that. They signed up for your wait list. Your wait list, you want to treat that differently than your weekly, newslettery kind of email, right? So, side note there. Now, with people on the wait list, I want to encourage you and suggest to you to create an experience for them of what it will look like inside of your membership. What are some things that you can do to give them a glimpse into the wonderful world of your membership once they're in there, right? Because the idea here is when they're on your wait list, you want them like waiting impatiently to for when your membership opens. They're like, I can't wait. Oh my, like, oh holy cow, look at this. I got this and I got this and I'm seeing this. I can't wait to get into the membership and experience all of this. So create an experience of what it could look like or what it will look like, I should say, inside of your membership. So one thing that you could do is you could simply send them helpful content, right? So take some content from your membership on, say, like every few weeks, give them that into people on your wait list. You don't have to give them the whole thing necessarily, but can you give them a really helpful piece of value from something that's in your membership and send that to them on your people on your wait list, right? Another thing that you could do in terms of helpful content is if you have a podcast or if you have a YouTube channel, if you do Facebook Lives or what have you on really specific topics, you could you could refer people to those specific episodes or videos, right? That is specific, obviously, to the topic of your membership and what the problem that you're solving with them for them. So again, we're creating an amazing experience for them while they're on your wait list. Another thing that you could do is if you do like a live training inside of your membership 1 month, you could take that training, maybe you cut it up a little bit or something like that, and give them a version of that training that's not the full on training with the Q&A and so forth, but give them a version of that training that, again, super valuable to them, but they're like, man, they're getting that inside of the membership. Yes, I want more of this. Another thing that you could do is if you answer people's questions inside of your membership, maybe you could make it possible for people on your wait list to submit questions to you, and maybe you answer them like once a month or something like that, right? Maybe you set up like a speak pipe, or you set up a simple Google form or something like that where they can submit a question and you'll answer it, right? It's about creating an experience so that's almost mirroring the experience of what they'll have in the membership. But obviously the membership is way more. They get all they get the community aspects, etc. Okay. That, my friend, right there will increase your conversion rate for the people on your waitlist. Again, you want them almost waiting impatiently for when your membership opens. Okay. Okay. This is a big question here and one of uber importance. And I alluded to it earlier, but this is about what metrics should you be tracking when it comes to your membership. There's definitely some key metrics that you want to be tracking. And I'm also going to throw in an additional one that you might not be really thinking about when it comes to a metric that you want to be tracking. And that first metric is your cost to acquire a customer. How much is it costing you to get a new member of your membership? Now, this is really obviously most relevant if you are advertising, right? So you can be looking at, in a very simplistic way, you're looking at, okay, how much did I spend on advertising over a certain period of time? Let's just say over a month's time or over a quarter's time. And then how many customers, how many new people join your membership as a result of that advertising. Okay. And so just as a super simple example, if you spend $1,000 on ads over a month's time and you got 100 new members, well, it costs you $10 to acquire each of those customers, right? Very simplistic terms. There's more that can go into it, but I want you to just think about this. If you're not tracking this, absolutely tracking it, but think about it from a high level. Okay, what does it cost to acquire each of my new members of my membership? Now, again, this is for if you're running advertising. So, number one, cost to acquire a customer. Because as I always say here on the show, it's all math, my friend. It's all just about numbers. And I'm not saying your members are a number. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying from a business perspective, like, what are the stats? What numbers do I need to know in order to have a healthy membership? Okay. So, cost to acquire a customer. The second stat that you want to know is your churn rate. And then the third stat that you want to know is your lifetime customer value. Okay. So, the churn rate, I'm sure you've heard that term before. It's basically how often are people leaving your membership? How long are they staying in your membership? And it comes out as a percentage, right? If you are less than 5%, you're doing well with your membership churn. If you're in that like 7, 8, 9, 10% churn rate, you've got some challenges there, right? If you're on that higher level there, the membership is you're losing people more quickly than you're gaining people into the membership. And so that's a problem, obviously. And so to calculate that churn, the real simple way to look at it is, okay, how long on average are people staying in the membership? Is it 3 months? Is it 10 months? Is it a year? Is it 7 months? Whatever that might be. From a calculation standpoint, let's just say that you had 100 members at the start of the previous month, the last month, right? Now, not counting new members that you added, how many of those 100 people canceled the membership? So let's just say that 10 people canceled out of those 100 members. Your churn rate is 10%, which is very high, right? Churn rate's 10%, or in a decimal standpoint, it's 0.1. Okay. So the churn rate is really very, very important for you to understand because it informs the lifetime customer value. What I mean by that is, okay, if people stay in your membership on average, let's just say 6 months, and your membership is $50 a month, simplistically speaking here, your lifetime customer value is, for your membership anyway, is $300, right? Now, what I'm not counting if they purchase something else that you might have or whatever. I'm just straight up simplistically looking, how long is somebody staying in the membership, or how long are people staying in the membership, I should say, on average, and then you're calculating that. Okay. So you can actually do a calculation for determining what your lifetime customer value is. And that is the number one divided by that churn rate that we just calculated as a percentage, right? Times the cost of your monthly membership. So As an example, to calculate what we just went through, an example would be 1 divided by zero point 0.1, and that equals 10. Again, keeping things super simple here. 1 divided by 0.1 is 10. And so we're saying 10 months times your monthly fee for the membership. In this case here, let's just use it super simple, $50 a month. So your average lifetime customer value is $500. Why is this important? This is important because it's all math, right? If you know that it costs you $30 to acquire a new member into your membership and the lifetime value of your membership is $500 all day long, right? You're paying $30 to acquire a lifetime customer value of 500. This is also super helpful to very important data when you're doing different offers, right? So if you're doing a dollar trial or you're doing a $7 trial or what have you, again, super important to understand what your lifetime customer value is. And again, please don't get me wrong. I am not equating a member of your membership as a number or as a dollar figure. It's not how we roll here in my world, in my business, and on this podcast here. I'm just merely saying from a business perspective and the overall financial health of your membership, these are the types of metrics that you want to be looking at. Okay. Now I'm going to throw one more metric that I would encourage you to start tracking, and not a lot of people talk about this. I want to encourage you to start tracking a net promoter score. Net promoter score is simply getting people's feedback about their experience. You've seen it before, I'm sure, like for us, right? If you email our support at rickmulready.com, if you email that, you're going to hear back from Gretchen. Gretchen is a huge part of our team, and she's amazing. When she responds back, at the bottom of that email, it says something to the effect of customer experience is one of our top values here in the business, which it is. Would you mind just please letting us know how this experience was for you, or something like that? And it gives you a smiley face, like one of those faces with the straight mouth, and then one with the unhappy face. And you just click whichever one it was, and that's it. So that is an example of a net promoter score. Now you can do all different types of net promoter score type of measuring, but I would encourage you to include that in your membership, because your membership is about your members, right? You are there to serve your members. You're there to create amazing community for your members. And so hearing back from them, getting feedback from them on a regular basis about how they're enjoying it, how they're getting, what's the experience like, super important, right? And so I would encourage you to include getting a net promoter score from your membership on a consistent basis. You don't have to do this like weekly, but I would say in the minimum quarterly, probably maybe like even monthly, right? It's a good idea to be up on that. All right. The next question. If you happen to do launches for your membership, how do you calculate revenue from the launch? Right? Because oftentimes people are just paying for the first month. So if your membership is $10 a month and you get 1,000 people, let's just say as a number, then you've just generated $10,000, right? But what if you spent $15,000 on ads? I'm just throwing this out there as a number. You're like, holy cow, I just lost 5,000, quote unquote, lost $5,000 on this launch. Well, did you? Did you really lose that? Again, it goes back to the lifetime customer value. So, because if you brought in 1,000 people and your lifetime customer value is whatever, $500, is $500 times 1,000, that is the type of revenue that you want to be looking at. Okay. So you want to take the revenue from your first month payments. Absolutely. And this here, by the way, this is an example of where you really want to be careful from a cash flow perspective if you are running ads to a launch for your membership. Because again, Facebook wants their money in the not so distant future from when you run ads, right? So if you are not taking in enough money from your launch to pay your ads, you're going to have to float that difference. Now, again, this comes back to, though, your lifetime customer value of people in your membership. So, yeah, you want to count the revenue from that first month's payment, but you also want to look at what's my lifetime customer value and include that in the measuring of how successful that launch was for your membership, from a revenue perspective, right? Now, if you're just new to the membership, if you're just starting this membership and you're adding it to your existing successful business, if you don't know what your lifetime customer value is yet, that's cool. Start measuring that and start collecting that data as soon as you can. You're simply going to have to go on that first month revenue collection. It makes things a little bit more, I don't want to say complicated, but there's more things you need to be thinking about when you are doing a launch for a membership, especially if you're running ads. Okay, the next question. So we're going to be doing actually episodes coming up here on the podcast all about retention and how to increase retention. But right now, I'm going to give you 6 different ways to increase your lifetime customer value. So, one of the questions that always comes up, what are some ways to increase lifetime customer value? So, if your lifetime customer value is, or if your churn is whatever, 3 months, what are some things that you can do to get that 3 months up? How do we encourage people to stay longer in your membership to continue to get value from it and be part of the amazing community that you have created, right? We got to remember, what are the 2 reasons why most often why people leave a membership, right? They say, I don't have time, I'm not taking advantage of it, or there's just too much content in there and I am just completely overwhelmed. See you later. I'm out. Right. And so the first thing is to increasing your lifetime customer value is remembering that the answer to this question is not necessarily more. More is not always better, right? Welcome to the theme of my business and what we talk so much about here in the podcast. It's about simplicity. People don't want more. People are there for results. The quickest way, or I should say the easiest way to get from point A to point B. You're filling that gap from where they are to where they want to get to. And then community. So they're there for results and the community. When you can create just an amazing community experience, people aren't going anywhere, right? I've got an episode coming up here pretty soon from one of our Accelerator members. Her audience for her membership is women who are 65 and older, and her average length of time that people stay in there is like at least 2 years or something. Like it's longer than a year. And she's in a very specific art niche. And her name's Allie Manning. I'm going to be sharing her story and her recommendations for you for increasing retention. She's got 0% churn. Nobody leaves her membership. And they just love being a part of it. Anyway, that's just an example of one type of episode I've got coming up here for you, all about retention. And so again, remember, more is not always better. People are there for the results and the community. The second thing that you can do, or that you definitely want to do when it comes to increasing your lifetime customer value, is really paying a lot of attention and being very, very, very intentional about your onboarding process. So, what is that experience like when somebody joins your membership? So they sign up for the membership. What happens next, right? Oftentimes people, when they join your membership or they buy a course or what have you, they're like, ooh, I don't know, did I make the right decision in investing that money, right? They might have a little bit of remorse there. They got some fear. Did I just make the right decision? Well, you want to make sure to show them that they're in the right place, right? They made the best decision for themselves, whether it's for their business or for their self-care, whatever kind of niche that you're in. You want to make sure that you are letting them know, hey, you're in the right place. You just made a great decision. You're in good hands now. And you're also part of this amazing community of other people just like you. So, what are some ways that you can do that? Give them a quick win, right? The first thing that people do, that we have people do when they join Accelerator, for example, is they do a time audit, right? You've heard time audit. So few people have actually done it because it's kind of a pain in the butt. But that's the first thing we have people do. Track your time. Track for 3 to 5 normal, quote unquote, business days. Track everything that you're doing in your business day. What are you doing? And then how long is each thing taking? I can't tell you how many people finish that time audit. They're like, holy cow, just one exercise so far, and I'm already seeing how much time I'm wasting, or all the things that I'm doing that I need to get off my plate, or I need to stop doing, etc. Right? So give people a quick win when they join your membership. The next thing is, can you give them the opportunity to self-assess where they are in their journey with regard to your membership, or whatever you're teaching in the membership? Can you give them some sort of self-assessment so that at the end of that self-assessment, you can send them down a specific path within your membership so that it's tailored specifically to where they are at, what their specific needs are? Because again, oftentimes when people come into a membership, there's so much content in there. It's like, where do I even start? So the more that you can make it super easy, one step at a time, giving them baby steps basically to, hey, okay, you're here. Then in that case, what I recommend that you do is you go down this path. You tailor their experience based on where they are at. And you're starting that out with a quick win. Again, you're letting them know you're in the right place. I got you. The community is here for you. And this is the content that's going to help you add value to begin your journey. Another thing, speaking of content, is you want to show them in multiple different ways. If you like video format, checklist, step by step, you can record audio, whatever, how to navigate the content. And I'm saying this in kind of jest here, but you're always onboarding. Regardless of how long somebody's been in your membership, you're always onboarding. You're always sharing what are the easiest ways to get the most out of your membership. Because we assume that people read stuff, right? Or we assume that people watch a video, when it's like, wait, it's on my thank you page. Wait, it's in the first email. Wait, it's in the slide deck that they just got. Wait, it's the first screen that they get to in their membership, whatever it might be. People they're just gonna, breeze over it. We don't want to assume that they know how to get the most out of your membership. And the last thing on onboarding is just really, like I mentioned before, simply one step at a time, making it very simple and not overwhelming them. What are things that you can do to keep it one step at a time? And I just given you examples there about how you can leverage one step at a time. Okay, moving on from onboarding, another thing that you can do to increase your lifetime customer value is you can offer upgrades to the annual price. So if somebody is in at a monthly price, they're paying whatever, $10 a month. Well, let's just say they've been in there a month now. You can offer the annual price and you give them like 2 months free, right? So you offer them, all right, hey, it's $120 for the annual, but it's a special now for $100 or something like that. That's one way to increase that lifetime customer value, especially if people stay in your membership on average, say like 7 months, right? Now they're going to be in there for a year. And if they continue on after that 12 months, you can expect about a 50% conversion from your yearlies re-upping, if you will, for another year. If you're doing 50% or above, you're doing very, very well. Okay. So you can give people the option to upgrade to yearly. Just as an example, by the way, and I'm going to talk about them here from a platform perspective in running your membership. So I use 10xpro.io. in my business. They're where I house all of my trainings, funnels, my email, or excuse me, my funnel campaigns. They offer affiliate, it's a whole affiliate center. I freaking love it. I'm so glad I found this platform this year. So anyway, I was referred to them by a very trusted friend of mine, and I went in there on a dollar trial. It was $1 for 30 days. I was like, no brainer. I was in for like 2 weeks and I'm like, yep, I'm signing up for this. I absolutely love it. Super simple. Best platform I've used in my 8 years of being an online business. So 2 weeks in, I sign up for the monthly, the monthly reoccurring fee. I don't remember what it was. But I was in for like, I don't know, like a month later. So here I'm in now like 6 weeks or so. And they gave me an offer to upgrade to annual. So for the next 12 months, and it was like a huge savings. It was like, I think it was close to like $700 or something. I was like, no brainer, right? And so with that, even though I wasn't going anywhere, they just increased their lifetime customer value by making that offer to me after I'd been in the membership for a little while. Because they're assuming if you've been in for a little while, you're seeing the massive benefits of it. And like, hey, here you go. You want to pay for the next 12 months? Here's a special offer. I was like, sign me up. So I upgraded there. Okay, so upgrade people to yearly. Another way to increase lifetime customer value is to gamify the experience within the membership. Coming up here right around this episode here, you're going to hear from Jeff Harry. I talked to Jeff on the show here about how to use fun and play to create a thriving membership, right? I know, like, who would have thought, right? Fun and play? What are you talking about, Rick? So anyway, how can you gamify? How can you make your membership more fun where people get to unlock certain things and win badges? Maybe they win gift cards or whatever it might be. How can you gamify the experience of your membership? When people are having fun, again, when they are just like, I cannot leave this community because it is just so amazing, they are going to stay much longer. So if you're not already gamifying the experience within your membership, you're missing a great opportunity to do that. Okay. So that right there can increase your lifetime customer value. Okay. Two more things. The next thing is always be communicating to your membership community about what's coming. Now, I don't mean like 7 months down the road, but like what's coming up next month. You're sort of, it's that cliffhanger, if you will. You're like watching a show and then there's a commercial or something like that. And does anybody watch commercials anymore? You're watching a commercial and you're like, wait, don't stop there. Or the episode ends, right? And like I'm watching Succession. I'm all caught up on HBO. And it's like, the episode ended. I got to wait till next week now, right? It's the same sort of thing. And so you can like, if you're not already communicating with your members about what's coming up down the road a little bit, you're missing an opportunity they're like, oh, really? That's coming up next month. I can't wait for that. Right. So they're staying in, you are communicating with them on a consistent basis, which brings me to the last point I'm going to bring up here about, another way to increase lifetime customer value. Be doing like weekly emails to your members with highlights from within the membership, things like what they missed or like the top posts, or you can do profiles of different wins that your members had, whatever it might be. The key here is to be communicating with them on a regular basis. Now, I heard from somebody recently where they're like, well, I don't want to do that because I want to remind them that they're paying for this membership. Don't be that person, please. Okay. If somebody's in your membership strictly because they forgot about it, that they're paying for this, that's no way to run your business, right? We're doing things with an integrity, right? Right. We want people in the membership who want to be there. Now, are there going to be people in there who frankly have forgotten about, depending on what your price is, right? But they're like, oh yeah, I forgot all about this membership. Yeah, of course. But it's not a reason not to email them. If you're not emailing your members of your membership because you want to be flying under the radar, you want them to keep paying, you don't want to remind them, stop. Okay. email them regularly with highlights, with community wins, what they've missed, what's coming up, etc. These are all ways that you can increase lifetime customer value of your membership. I just shared 6 things. It felt probably like 17 because I talked a lot about onboarding, but those are just 6 things. There's all kinds of ways that you can increase retention for your membership. And again, I've got some great episodes coming your way where I bring on some guest experts talking all about how to increase retention. We spend a whole episode on what they recommend for increasing retention. Like we got a couple episodes just about onboarding. That's how important it is. Okay, we've got 3 more questions, my friends. We are in the last few here. And this is going to be a quick one because I just talked about it. People often ask me, like, what's the best platform for running your membership? My recommended platform is, as I mentioned before, 10xpro.io. One reason why I like 10x Pro. You can run memberships, you can run courses, you can run message boards in there. You can create a Facebook group experience that looks very similar. They call it the social wall. You can house all of these things inside of 10x Pro. They have pre-written or pre-done templates for funnels. You just click a button and like, oh, there's my quiz funnel. It's already written out. I just got to throw some words in there and it's all good to go. Order form templates. They can do an affiliate. They have an affiliate center in there, which is very hard to find. Not in 10x Pro, but just in general. This is my recommended platform. I was introduced to it earlier this year by a very good friend of mine who I trust his recommendations a lot. And I was like, where have you been all my life? 10xpro.io. And so it's the best platform, frankly, that I've used in my 8 years because of the simplicity of it. And their support is off the charts. I've gotten on support with them. Me, like, I'm so non-techie. I'm like, how do I do this? They're like, oh, boom, 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 boom. There you go. And they just knock it out for me. It's awesome. So if you want to check it out, by the way, I am an affiliate, I should say, of 10x Pro. I actually have no idea what the affiliate thing is for them, but I don't really care because I like it so much. So it's rickmulready.com/10x Pro. And you can go in on it's like $1 trial the last time I looked. I want to check it out. So platform for running your membership, 10xpro.io is my preferred. 2 more questions. And the first one here is the question is, how often do you email your members after they've gone through the initial onboarding/welcome process? Okay. And again, it goes back to what I talked about as one thing that you can be doing to increase your lifetime customer value. And that is, I would be emailing them weekly. And you're emailing them sort of like a newsletter each week that, contains things like, again, like highlights that they may have missed, what's coming up, profiles of members, member wins, et cetera, et cetera. Again, you're creating this community atmosphere, or your community manager is creating a community atmosphere inside of your membership. Okay. And again, don't be that person, please, that doesn't want to email your members because you want to stay under the radar. No, email people, let them know, create a community, make it fun. You're like, holy cow, I'm getting so much value. I love being here. I'm not going anywhere. All right. Final question. And this is actually a very simple, easy answer. But this is one that comes up a lot. When somebody joins your membership at a specific price, is that always their price? Or let's just say they came in at a certain price and then you raise that price 6 months from now. Does that person pay the new price that you've increased it to? Okay. The answer is you grandfather them in at the price that they came in on, unless they leave and then want to come back. So let's just say you have a membership and it's whatever, $20 a month for your founding members, or your pilot, or whatever it is that if you're just starting it out, adding it to your business. They come in at $20, or it's going to be $20, but they're coming in at, I don't know, just for simplicity's sake, $15. Very inexpensive, right? And so they're locked into that $15 price for as long as they are a member. However, if they leave after 7 months and then 5 months later they want to come back, well, they come back in at whatever price that you're offering at that time is. They lose their grandfathered price. Okay. So when somebody joins their membership at a price, that's their price for as long as they're a consistent member. If they leave and then they come back, when they come back, it's they're joining, the price is whatever you're offering at that time, not their original price. I think it's really, really important that, we don't, not punish is not the right word, but, we want to, if somebody's coming in, they're like, yeah, I'm so excited to jump in here, grab this price, you're grandfathering them in, if you will. Where does that come from? Grandfathering. I've just thought about that. I don't know where that comes from. You are keeping them at that price for as long as they are a member. But if they leave, they lose that price and they come back in at, whatever new price is that you're offering when they come back in. Okay. So my friends, that is almost, looking at the time of this episode, almost an hour of, your questions answered when it comes to memberships. If you got more questions, by the way, shoot me a DM over on Instagram. I'm at Rick Mulready. And I'm always open to suggestions of what you want to hear more about here on the podcast. And if you got specific questions, I'll make sure they come in or are included in a future Q&A episode here on the podcast. Or if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, for example, just leave me a comment down below and let me know what questions that you might have. Okay. So don't forget, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, if you're interested in learning more about my Accelerator coaching program, it's application only. So you can learn more and apply over at rickmulready.com/accelerator. And the final thing I would ask of you is, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts to the show here, I would be forever indebted to you, forever grateful to you, if you would take a second just to leave a quick rating and review for the show there on Apple Podcast and click subscribe. Regardless of where you're either watching or listening to this episode, make sure that you click that subscribe button or the follow button if you're listening on Spotify, for example. Okay. It really helps with this podcast here. I'm talking to thousands of new people here on the show. Thank you, by the way, for tuning in and listening. And this is going to allow us to help even more people create just the most amazing, impactful online business where they're helping just tons and tons of people while working fewer hours. It's less hustle, right? It's all about more impact, more profit, less hustle. All right, my friends, thank you as always for tuning into today's episode. I appreciate you. I'll see you right back here for the next episode of the Art of Online Business podcast.